Welcome to Czar's Top Shelf. Today I'm going to talk about the song I Shall Not Yield by the symphonic, progressive, power, folk, poetic heavy metal band Wuthering Heights, taken from their best album, The Shadow Cabinet. Let's get to it. The band Wuthering Heights was founded by Eric Raven. He's the leader of the band. He writes all the music, plays guitars, keyboards. Essentially, Wuthering Heights is his brainchild. All of the members of the band that have come and gone over the years, they're all outstanding in their own right, but you can't really mention Wuthering Heights without mentioning their lead singer, Nils Patrick Johansson. Nils has been in a bunch of different bands, and he continues to work in a bunch of different bands, but he's one of my favorite male singers out there. His voice is kind of like Dio's. I've heard people say that in the past, but he's like a masculine Dio, and a masculine Dio that chooses to be in bands that go a little bit deeper and write about more epic themes and stuff like that. So I like most of the bands he's been part of. He's just an outstanding, shining presence of the recordings we've got here from Wuthering Heights. Unfortunately, Wuthering Heights is kind of on a hiatus right now. We haven't had anything from them for quite a while. Eric Raven is still active. He's got some other bands and some other projects out there, and I think he's doing like some production work and helping other bands out as well, but nothing new from Wuthering Heights for a few years. I Shall Not Yield is my favorite song from the Shadow Cabinet. As you can probably guess from the title, it's a song about overcoming that which plagues you. But it's a little bit different than you might think. A lot of songs that deal with that sort of subject matter, even within metal, they tend to deal with it from a point of like misfortune, like what has happened to you as a matter of circumstances. This song and most of Wuthering Heights material, it's anti-fortune. It's anti-destiny. It's not a song about overcoming the circumstances that you were born into or circumstances that were beyond your control. It's about overcoming those specific individuals that have lied to you, have poisoned you, have wronged you, and remaining spiteful and hateful towards your enemies until the very end. It doesn't get much more metal than that. I'm smiling just thinking about the subject of the song. That's why it's my favorite song from this particular album, and probably like my favorite Wuthering Heights song altogether. We're going to listen to it and you're going to see why in a minute. So I'm older and a little bit fat nowadays, but I used to be young and fit, believe it or not. And this song, I Shall Not Yield, was a figment of my MP3 player for many years. That's how long ago we're talking. We're talking MP3 players before you could get this stuff on your phone. I would listen to this when I was jogging. It's the perfect song for that moment of a very long run where you've reached your bottom and you're about to collapse and you don't think you got anything left in the tank. This is the song that will convince you to keep pushing forward. There's a Rocky Balboa aspect to this song. There's a lot of highs and lows. Some songs are motivational from start to finish. They're just a very energetic piece of music or whatever. This song is energetic, but it takes you up. And the protagonist of the song, the narrator, the singer of the song, gets to a point and then he experiences a setback. And he's got to build himself back up again. That happens twice in the song, which is really phenomenal. It's really what makes it special and makes it a very unique composition in the world of heavy metal. Nowadays, though, I don't do too much exercising. I spend more time sitting in a chair and writing, and I recently wrote a story called Prohairesis. It was published by Swords and Sorceries in their anthology for Volume 7. But basically, this story is about a cult set in Northern Europe way back in the past, and I needed to come up with a word that the cult members would use to acknowledge each other. Rather than saying hello or goodbye or thank you, they would use a different word. Or when the leader of the cult would give a command to one of his people, what would they say in acknowledgement of that command? And I couldn't think of a word that hadn't been used in some other society until I was listening to this song for probably like the zillionth time. And I thought yield. Yield would be a great word to use. So if someone is given an order, they respond by saying yield. It's an altruistic, a selfless cult, so it really fit perfectly. It's just a way to show how this album and Wuthering Heights in general kind of inspired bits of that story. There's also a lot of Lost Horizon inspiration in the story of Prohairesis, but that's for another video. I'm going to have to get to Lost Horizon in this video series someday. Anyways, enough talking. I'm on another tangent. Let's get right to the music. Let's listen to I Shall Not Yield by Wuthering Heights. Stop it right there. Great symphonic intro, very effective. Nothing much to say about the symphonic intro, but the drums that we hear at this beginning part of the song really do set the tone for the rest of the song. They are live, they are human, they are bombastic. There's a lot of feel in the drumming. This is not like a terribly old album or anything, but you just don't get that very often with any metal bands from the last few years. So I absolutely love the drums, and they have that sound, that feeling like they were probably like the last thing that was recorded when producing the album. I'm totally guessing that, but a lot of times when you hear such effective, natural human drums, they weren't just done first as a bed for the recording process, where like that was the first thing that was recorded and then everybody played their parts on top of that. They were used to accent the work of everybody else, which is really the intention of drums. That's what drums should be in music like metal. Anyways, I'm on a tangent again. Let me just go ahead and keep on playing it from here.
I wish from the beginning of this game I had known it was in vain, that everything was doomed to fail. Too long I lived in childish innocence, while the teachers of pretense tested my will to prevail. I cannot trust in anyone I know. To me my neighbor is my foe. It's poison in the sweets you find. Exploiting weaknesses with free trade lies. The only thing you cannot buy is happiness and peace of mind.
Stopping it again. Nils is fantastic. I absolutely adore his voice. So raw and powerful. Anyways, what is the song about so far? So he's talking about life being a game that you play in vain. It kind of starts as him as a child. So he's describing his experience in life as a child growing up. Being taught by teachers of pretense. I love that phrase. So the teachers, the leaders, the people that were in charge of imparting wisdom onto him were just a bunch of liars. They were just full of it. I think that's fantastic. He's at odds with his neighbors. So he's growing up and he's giving side eye to everybody else because he doesn't know who he can trust, who's real, who's authentic, and who isn't. There's poison in the sweets they give. So like someone's giving him candy, he likes the candy, but he knows it's laced with poison. I think it's another, there's so many good lines. All these lyrics are just fantastic. But basically what he's getting at, he mentioned something, exploits of free trade, or being exploited by lies of free trade. Lies of free trade is what he says. So what does that mean? That's like the freedom that we're all told. You know, as we're growing up, we're told, oh, this is the greatest time to be alive. Whatever country you live in is the greatest country on earth. You've just got this amazing freedom. But he's kind of seeing through all that. He knows that it's really not freedom the way it's being professed as freedom. That you could buy and sell anything. That's where he's referencing free trade. You could buy and sell everything except for peace of mind. Meaning the most important things in this world, the important reasons for living, are things that are beyond all of these lies and propaganda about free trade and freedom. Basically, he's being tested by the world. He's growing up. He's being tested by the world, and he's slowly starting to remove the veil. He's starting to see things as they really are, not the way that he was told they were supposed to be. So really, really effective beginning of the song. All of these lyrics are so poetic, and they're so heavy, and they're so well written. It just gets better as the song goes on. So let me stop talking, and let's continue playing it from here.
It's a balance of power. Should I jump from the prisoner's tower? Sometimes I wish that I could lay me down and hope for no tomorrow. But you'll never see me surrender my blade. Refusing death's call, I will conquer my fate. For I shall not yield. No!
Stopping it again. I'm gonna have to resist the temptation to stop after every verse, whatever. But what a fantastic chorus. There's a balance of power. Should I jump from the prisoner's tower? He's basically just laying it out there. The world is a battle for power. He's on the opposite side of that balance, and he's at the point like, I'm a prisoner. Should I just jump from the tower and end it all? He's feeling imprisoned by the world. I think this is a really important factor, though, because this song is not about like some sort of circumstantial or, I don't know, chemical depression or something like that. He's talking about like very specific forces in the world, people, humans that are poisoning the sweets that he's being fed. They're deliberately trying to harm him. And that's what he's fighting against throughout this song. Very, very, very effective. He's already declaring defiance, though. So in the chorus, You'll never see me surrender my blade. Refusing death's call, I will conquer my fate. So whatever the fate is, the destiny, that's what I was saying earlier on. This is like an anti-fortune song. He's against all that. Whatever it is, he's going to be defiant to it, defiant against it to the very end. So really, really great chorus. Let me just keep on playing here. I think we're going to get a bit of instrumental bits now. Let's go ahead and listen. Right, stopping it again there. So wonderful instrumental, fantastic, precise guitar playing over top of, again, those bombastic drums. So I really like the way these instrumental pieces come and go in the song because the guitar playing is very precise and very accurate. The drums are much more human and lively. And I think that just, it's the mix of like clarity of thought, clarity of consciousness with the guitars, with just the human, the heart. It's like the mind is the guitars and the drums are the heart of the song. Really, really, really effective. So let me just keep on playing it from here.
And I cannot even sell my soul. It's been torn and abused. Still my life joy may fetch a fair price since it's only slightly used.
Right, stop it again very quickly. I'm going to be brief. He can't sell his soul because it's torn and abused, but his life's joy is still worth something because it's only slightly used. He's going back to like that whole thing you mentioned before about like the lies of free trade, that everything is just has a market value, and his life's joy has some market value because it's only slightly abused. Very poetic way to just kind of speak to like the buy and sell nature of like this global society that we live in. All right, let me just keep on playing it from here.
It's a balance of power. Should I jump from the prisoner's tower? Sometimes I wish that I could lay me down and hope for no tomorrow. But you'll never see me surrender my blade. Refusing death's call, I will conquer my fate. For I shall not yield.
Right, stopping it there. Another great chorus. Niels Patrick Johansson's voice is just so good, and he enunciates really well. I know this is weird, it's an odd thing to say, but man, I listen to so many European bands who sing in English, and like 2/3 of the time they just never get it right. But Neil's voice is strong and powerful, and he's singing complicated words, more complicated than a lot of other European metal bands would dare sing, and he does it so effectively. You would never know that he was Swedish. Like he's just, it's not like a diss on Swedes that they probably speak better English. In fact, I know, I'll tell you, where I live in the United States, they speak better English than my neighbors around here. I guarantee it. But it's just unique to hear from an artist's perspective. A lot of times, the effectiveness of singing in English is like an afterthought for many bands. And I understand why, but it's the fact of the matter, it just is an afterthought. Anyways, after the chorus, another solid instrumental, like a full minute of instrumentation. The solos are great. Everything is the drums are powerful. The keyboards and the guitars are so precise. I hear this, this is like a bridge. This instrumental section is like a bridge towards enlightenment for the character of the story. So he's pulled the veil off in the first bit. Now he's really seeing things as the way they are. Now he's becoming more defiant than he was when he was younger. And this is a bridge to enlightenment, to really just lay down the law and say, I ain't giving up. That's it. So, okay. There's going to be a really cool passage that comes up next. Let me just play it and you could hear it. Here we go.
Gods of life, I meet your challenge. I shall rise from every blow you strike at me. I shall break every spell you throw at me. You will not push me that last bit way over the edge, even if I'm only holding on by sheer spite itself. You may wound this wax like thread of a foul and poisoned string, but it shall not break. That final victory shall be denied thee forever.
All right, man. Stopping it again. All right, let me just, I got that on a side of it. I'm going to read to you what it says. Gods of life, I meet your challenge. I shall rise from every blow you strike at me. I shall break every spell you throw at me. You will not push me to that last bit away over the edge, even if I'm only holding on by sheer spite itself. I love the virtue of spite and the virtue of hatred. This song does this so effectively because it's an intelligent song. A lot of times you would think someone that's professing being spiteful is just like some sort of moron or troglodyte. But no, you can be an intellectual and still value the act of being spiteful. Anyways, even if I'm only holding on by the sheer spite itself, you may have woven this one's life thread of a foul and poisonous string. Oh man. But it shall not break. That string, even though it's foul and poisonous, it shall not break. That final victory will be denied to thee forever. Man, it's such great poetry. So he's coming back to life here in this section of the song. He's recognizing it, he's overcoming it. Although the cards are stacked against him, he's declaring that he's going to remain defiant no matter what, if for no other reason than to be spiteful. The spite in itself is pleasure enough for him to remain defiant and to endure all of this. All right, so yeah, let me keep playing it. There's going to be another instrumental section, and then some more some great solos. And I hear this. I'm going to tell you now. I hear this next bit of instrumental bits in the solos. It's kind of like celebrating this joy of rebirth, celebrating the fact that he's accepted what's going on and he's going to fight it, and he's going to find joy in being spiteful. So let me go ahead and play it from here.
When even my imaginary friends turn their backs on me again and leave me bleeding on the ground, I can no longer welcome each new day, but on this battlefield I'll stand, 'cause you will never bring me
All right, stopping it there. Just such a beautiful, heartfelt performance in that section. The solos are great. They're just an ecstatic representation of this epiphany that he's having. Um, the soulfulness in this performance, I don't know, man. I'm old, and I don't want to be one of those guys that says these younger bands, these younger kids, but man, they're all just missing it. There's so few bands that I think they're just all so pilled up nowadays that they don't know how to feel anything. That whole part of their psyche has just been deactivated. But man, there's some real soulfulness in this song. So, all right, I'm gonna stop it here, and we're gonna play, which I think is the quintessential moment of the song. This is the highlight. This is where it all comes together for the song.
And when in time to the ground I'm bent, from carrying life's stone, my strength all spent, I shall drag myself forth by the tip of my nails, to spit on your feet with the last scornful
All right, stopping it. Man, I would drag myself forth by the tips of my nails, the fingernails. If that's all he's got left, he's going to use his nails to drag himself forth. Why? To spit on your feet with the last scornful hail. Man, that is such a great line. Such a vision. Oh man. All right, so yeah, he's just obstinate at this point. But like I said in the beginning, there's ups and downs in this song. This is the second down, so he's down, he's old, he's bent and spent, but he's still dragging himself forward. He's bringing himself back up again, fueled by hatred in itself and spite itself. I think that is so great. Such a perfectly poetic expression of the heavy metal aesthetic. All right, I'm gonna let the rest from here. I'm just gonna let it play out. We get another bombastic reprisal of that chorus. The chorus comes back and it comes back harder than it did the last time. And the song just ends perfectly. So I'm just going to shut up and play it to the end from here.
It's a balance of power. Should I jump from the prisoner's tower? Sometimes I wish that I could lay me down and hope for no tomorrow. But you never see me surrender my blade. Refusing death's call, I will conquer my fate. For I shall not yield. No, I shall not yield. I shall never.
Well, that's it. That's I Shall Not Yield by Wuthering Heights from the Shadow Cabinet. What a beautifully artistic piece of music. It's such a poetic expression of the denial of fate, the defiance of destiny, the will to continue to persevere at all costs, even when the odds are so clearly stacked against you. Defying authority, knowing that all of this whole thing is a game, it's all a sham, it's all manipulated, lifting the veil of authority, seeing their lies and understanding that, accepting it, being a prisoner on their tower. And what do? Do you choose to jump from the tower and end it all? Or do you refuse to surrender your blade and keep on fighting? Such a beautiful song, such a powerful, powerful piece of heavy metal. I appreciate you guys watching this with me, and I appreciate being able to share this song with you. I hope that it means as much to you as it means to me personally. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope that I get to see you in the next video. Take care.